Fury of Blue is in attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Mike Mazik, The Mighty Rise Podcast, hashtag JBT. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, The Box Storian. Today, the life and career of Tex Ricard. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's The Box Storian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. As everyone, it's the Wednesday afternoon hump day edition of Cast Sports, The Box Storian. Hope everyone's day is going okay. We get ready to get past the hump day. We're going to get going downhill toward this big weekend, and it is a big weekend. We got the big light heavyweight showdown. We will have our first ever 4-belt undisputed champion At light heavyweight, 175. That's if it's not a draw. I doubt if it's going to be a draw. And also, this big weekend, we are having the JBT raffle. Okay? The winner will win a 2025 Dodge Ram pickup. No, just kidding. You know the fabulous three prizes. Apple 10th generation iPad, air fryer headphones, and a Ninja air fryer. Come on, man. $10 will get you in. But I would go for the block of 25. Get all three of them. One person can win all three of them. And that's this weekend. It's a huge weekend, man. And the day JBT content creators are scheduled to do a joint show on the day of the drawing. That's when the drawing will be done. Got about 60 entries so far, but we still got Thursday, Friday, and part of Wednesday. Don't wait till Saturday. It might be too late. You might not get in, so you better get it. Just get it now, okay? But Tex Ricard today, he was the first promoter of note, first big time promoter. He had to be promoters before Tex because there was fights before Tex, and somebody had to set him up, right? But Tex was the first big time. He was the Bob Father and Don King before the Bob Father and Don King. And Tex promoted the first $1 million gate. You know, we're going to get into it. Tex built Madison Square Garden. He owned the New York Rangers hockey team. Yeah, big time sports guy. Very interesting profile today, too, because Tex was like an adventurer. He was, besides the promoter, he was a gambler, a bartender. He owned a saloon, hotels, casinos. And, you know, he was back there around that time when the gold rushes were going on out west, and Tex was following every gold rush, trying to get rich quick, discover gold. So he was an adventurer. We're not only going to talk about his promotional career, we're going to talk about the whole thing. So stick with me. It's very interesting. And he was a friend of Wyatt Earp. Remember Wyatt Earp, the old Wild West Marshal? Him and Tex were good friends. Yeah, because remember, Tex was born in 1870. He came up in the old Wild West. Probably carried a 6-gun and everything ran on his hip. You know, friends of Wyatt Earp, he better. Because, you know, Wyatt Earp has some enemies, and you hang around with him, you better have a gun on you. Better have a couple of them. But Tex, it's going to be a very interesting profile today. It's brought to you by Big Supreme. You know, it's Wednesday. I like to have a show for Wednesday to take out of the chat. So you want to see any historical shows. It can be a profile, like today, Tex. You know, I do the profile on Fridays, but I'll take one out of the chat and do it on Wednesday. So if you got any kind of show you want to see, put it in the chat. It will be done. Okay. So y'all heard about the debate. I let BVO wrote me into a debate Monday. So I'm going to go over there on his channel and cook him. Floyd versus Thomas Hearns. I got Thomas Hearns. What the hell can Floyd do with Thomas Hearns? Thomas Hearns got all the skills Floyd got. Plus he got a 5-inch reach height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Come on, man, BVO. I didn't want to do it. I don't debate. You know, delivery has a little bit to do with it, but the main thing about a debate, as long as you got the facts in your favor, you win, you know. And has Floyd, when Floyd tried to get up in there and score that historic, legendary left jab, one of the best ever, going to meet him. And on the way out, one of the best, most powerful right hands going to follow him out. Floyd is going to be out of range, can't hit Hearns, but he's still going to be in range for Hearns and land them punches on him. And resume, I want to tell my whole game plan, but resume, I can just go off of the Four Kings alone and beat Floyd. Resume, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, come on, man. Ain't even mentioned Wilfred Benitez, Pepino Cuevas, Iran Barkley. And, you know, Thomas Hearns fought guys, legendary guys that still talked about today, 40 years after the prime. The guys Floyd fought, retired 5-10 years ago, already forgot. So BVO done bumped this damn head, man, want to challenge the box story into a debate. But that's Monday at 8 o'clock, okay? Come see BVO get cooked. But today, Tex Ricard. Yeah. And we're going to go into his career. Like I said, promoter, gambler, barkeep, had a saloon, hotels, casinos. Tex did it all. The man was an adventurer. Followed all the gold rushes. You know, every other month back in them days, somebody would strike gold somewhere, then the whole town would leave, would empty out and go there, try to get rich. And Tex was one of them people. You know, somebody discovered gold in San Francisco. Tex was going to be one of them running to San Francisco. Somebody discovered gold in Montana. Tex is going to be right there. Very interesting profile. And he built, I think it was like the third Madison Square Garden. It was a few of Madison Square Gardens. I don't know what happened to the other ones, but Tex built up the third one. We're going to go into it. Tex Ricard. And then tomorrow it's going to be the Boxing in the States series, continues every Thursday. This week is Maine. We're up to Maine. That's where the Phantom Punch fight between Ali and Liston occurred. You know, the Phantom Punch. People on the front row didn't even see Ali hit Liston. Ali and Liston didn't even see the punch. You know, the Phantom Punch. Liston just went down. You know, but it was a long story today. We're going to go into it tomorrow because that was in Maine. Amongst the other history that happened in Maine concerning boxing, and then some boxers from Maine. I don't know if it's going to be too many of them, but I'm going to find some. You know, the box story, you're going to find some, right? And then Friday, the regular profile is going to be the life and career of Harry Grab. You know, you spell it G-R-A-B. I was saying Greed, but Bruce Gass said it's Grab. So, you know, Bruce Gass, I'm going to take Bruce Gass's word for it. The life and career of Harry Grab, legendary fighter from the 20s. He went from middleweight all the way to light heavyweight, but he did most of his work, the best of his work at middleweight. Yeah, middleweight. We're going to get started in like 10 minutes, around 2:30ish. But appreciate everybody rocking with me today. Got a good one for you. But we are in fight week. I guess what the final press conference will be tomorrow, right? Riyadh season. Yep, it's a good card too. Sky Nicholson on it. Remember, she fought at the JBT meet and greet up there in Philly on that Boots card. Remember, Sky did. She's going to take over women's boxing whenever the Groot and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, Alicia Baumgartner, when them women get out of there. Sky is the next big thing. She's a fantastic young women's boxer, right? Sky going to take over. Maya Ellis, those young women are going to, when the Groot and all them get out the way, they're going to be two of the ones that's going to be the big thing in women's boxing, right? The next crop to come along, they're going to be part of it. And Sky is on that card. We are at season, yeah. And we are right in fight week, halfway through it now. I started out with Bivol, but I'm wavering now, man. I've been watching Better Be Ebb the last couple of days, man. He's a monster. You know, like they say, like a tank fight, Bivol got to be perfect for 12 rounds, but all Better Be Ebb need is one. And that's it. I saw him hit a guy on his gloves, man, and the glove went back in the guy's face and damn near knocked him out. Guy had a high guard, and Better Be Ebb couldn't get through, so he just hit the guy's glove, and the guy's glove hit him in the face, and he almost went out of there, man. So I'm like, damn, Bivol. But it should be a good fight. Bivol should go a ways. Now, some people saying, one guy told me 11. If Better Be Ebb would get him out of there in 11. If Bivol makes it 11 rounds, he's going to run. He's going to make 12. So Better Be Ebb better make it before 11. Because Bivol with those skills, if he get to 11, he's probably going to pull that decision out. So I think if Better Be Ebb gets him, I'll say between 8 and 10. Yeah. Middle to late. 8 to 10. Yeah. But yeah, I'm starting to waver now, man. I was Bivol all this time, but got the fight week. I don't know, man. Because Better Be Ebb is a monster, man. And Father Time has not come anywhere near him yet. And they say that it was the knee, right? They say the knee is good, man. His injury is good, 100% back. So, but the good thing about it is it's this weekend. So many fights we debate between these stars nowadays and never get them, but this one is one we are getting in a couple days. So that's going to be good. Melanin Queen 27 in the building. How are you, Melanin Queen? Hope your day is going good. All downhill after today. Yep. We got Tex Ricard, the big time promoter. First big time promoter. The Bob Father and Don King probably read books on Tex. They wanted to be like Tex when they grew up, Yeah. He, like I said, the first $1 million gate and the first $2 million gate. You heard the names from back in that era: Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, Gene Tunney, Harry Grant, like we're going to talk about Friday, George Carpenter. Tex promoted all of them. Fighters came in them days, Tex was the promoter. Like I said, there had to be something before him because it was fights before him. And somebody had to set him up, right? But Tex was the first big time. He made boxing popular, okay? He started the big crowds coming to him. Tex Ricard did. BN Boxing News in the building. What's up, BN Boxing News? Salute. But anybody out there listening, make sure you get them tickets because time is a running short. 3 fantastic prizes. And there's going to be a winner. D1 up there watching that TV, he won right now. He won that at the last raffle, remember? So it's going to be 3 prizes. 3 different people. It might just be one, One person could get all of them. And I wrote your name down. BN Boxington. Damn, it's BN Boxing News. I wrote BN Boxington. I don't know where I got that from. But salute BN Boxing News. Another Fire JBT channel. That's some fire post-fight analysis. He'll probably definitely do what he do the big fight. Probably definitely do one this weekend after this big fight we got coming up this weekend. Better Be Ebb and Bivol. Should be a good fight. I had Bivol being able to stay at range and play keep away, but he got to do it for 12 rounds. And I don't know, man. Because Better Be Ebb, he ain't even got to catch you flush. Like I told you, he hit the guy. The guy had the high guard, so he hit the guy in the glove and damn near knocked him out. Knocked his glove back into his face. So, yeah. And he's a good boxer, too. It ain't just, power. Yeah. Better Be Ebb got some skills, too. Just haven't had to dig down into the toolbox. Like Calvin Ford always say about Tank. He hasn't had to show everything, all the skills he's got. Nobody's made him yet. Same thing with Better Be Ebb. Nobody's made him dig in there deep yet. Now, he might have to go a little bit deep down in there for Bivol. But, any young boxer wanting to know how to cut the ring off, just watch some film of Better Be Ebb. Because he knows how to corner his man, get right up in his face, and get him up out of there, man. Joe Smith I didn't pick Joe Smith to beat Better Be Ebb, but I thought he would have did better than he did, man. He got destroyed. But Joe Smith isn't Dimitri Bivol either. I wouldn't be surprised if Bivol pulls it out, but I'm kind of like done leaning, like they say in politics. I'm leaning Better Be Ebb. Leaning Better Be Ebb, right now. But we still got a couple more days. I've been watching them. But I just don't know if Bivol is going to be able to stay away from that power for 12 rounds. That's hard to do, man. When a guy got that kind of power, you're going to get hit. Okay. Big Dre, what's up, Big Dre? In the building. Salute. I was just telling y'all about this raffle. We're gonna start in about 5 minutes, but Big Dre can tell you about the prizes better than I can, so let's do that. Okay, let you hear about these prizes in detail from our spokesperson. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me for a minute. I forgot that. Count from 10 to 0 backwards. I'll be back. Okay. Oh, goodness. Hi, Sierra. Hello. I'm back. I just speak to my youngest child. He's 30. Wow, I'm old. Yeah, that's right. My youngest child is 30. That's older than some of y'all, lady. But yeah, let's check out these prizes. Sorry for that little interruption. Let me be quiet for a minute so I can get this thing going. That's not it. Tex, you got to go for a minute. Look.
For another raffle brought to you by the JBT.
I've got it.
Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. 3 wonderful prizes. And it's Saturday. I told you, a big week, man. We got the big light heavyweight showdown, the JBT raffle. Wow. Don't get no bigger than that. And you will get your prizes probably next week. Because D1 got his. I was surprised when he sent the picture and said he had it. It was like about 2 days. I think the raffle was on Sunday. I think he got it Wednesday, about 3 days. Wednesday of the following week. So yeah, if Saturday you should have it by next Wednesday. A week from today you should have it. And if you don't get the headphones, I don't have them. Okay, I mean they could get lost in the mail, and if you see me somewhere with a pair like them, that ain't them. Okay, because I'm gonna buy me a pair. So, but then we just had to get you another pair. Especially a Big Dre with them. No, just kidding. I'm gonna send the headphones. But those are some nice headphones, man. Kenichi Bear. Kenichi Bear is a proud sponsor of the JBT too. Yeah. Let's talk fashion. What's up, Let's Talk Fashion? Salute. Good to see you today. There's another Let's Talk Fashion this morning. I gotta do replay shorty, man. Because I'm very busy. Everything is winding down at work. This is it. Last week. Friday is it. but I'm gonna do the replay thing. Okay, but let's get ready to get started on this Tex Ricard, prior promoter, gambler, bartender, had a saloon, casinos. He was a good friend of Wyatt Earp, the old Wild West guy. Yeah, Tex came up in that area. We had to be a tough man if Wyatt Earp fooled with him, But it's very interesting. And it's more than just a promotional career. We're going to cover it all, okay? Oh, and then after Tex, we're going to talk about some other promoters, like the Bob Father and Don King, old Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Floyd, Oscar, all of them. We're going to talk about 10 other promoters that's active today. Yep. Turkey Alley Chic. Yeah. Because we got a big yard season coming up this weekend, remember? We're going to talk about Turkey. Still don't think he's supposed to be in no Hall of Fame. His record is 0-0, just like mine. Why ain't I in there if Turkey Alley Chic in there? It was just kissing butt big time that weekend. Mauricio, Oscar, all of them, man. And couldn't even walk around. Oscar lift was on his butt so tightly. Sorry, Oscar. Let's go with today's show. Haven't heard from Lonnie Lee in a while, but T. Hill said Lonnie Lee's his work hours had changed or something because he was a regular. He had been in every show I ever did up to like about 2 weeks ago. But everybody can't. Some jobs don't play you sitting up there with that earpiece listening to YouTube, But yeah, Lonnie will be back because he's a degenerate just like the rest of us. He can't stay away that long. There's Big Supreme. What's up, Big Supreme? That's who. Yeah, we doing it today. Big Supreme. Big Supreme. The show is brought to you by Big Supreme. Wednesdays is when I always do the requests. I need some more too. Yeah. Tex Ricard came from a Big Supreme request. Big Supreme hashtag AMC, where is it? FSG, AMC FSG. Yeah. You right on time, Big Supreme. We just get ready to get started. 2:30. Everybody know about that 2:30. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Now everybody's showing up at 2:30. No, it's all good. It's all good. But salute, Big Supreme. Right on time for the life and career of old Tex Ricard. The Bob Father and Don King before the Bob Father and Don King. Told you, they read books on Tex. Both for Bob Father and Don King wanted to be Tex Ricard when they grew up, man. And then after Tex, we're going to talk about some Bob Father, Don King, some other promoters, some other guys currently promoting boxing. Aunt McQueen in the building. Salute, Aunt. Everybody's day going. It's hump day in this big week. The big light heavyweight showdown. I done switched from Bivol to Better Be Had. I was watching through a Better Be Had the last couple of days, man. That's all I can say. Man, guy's a monster. But the good thing about it, we get to see him in the ring. We don't just get to have to debate it like we do so many other fights and never get them. We are getting it, man. We are at season. And a good card, too, overall. Yeah. Turkey does put them together. Turkey got that money. Okay, life and career of Tex Ricard. Yep, 2:30. I can't start before 2:30. I'm superstitious. Here we go. Now, let's see what Big Supreme says. Oh, he's talking to Ant. The Ant McQueen single-handedly turned boxing into a profitable. Oh, he's talking about Tex. Yeah, Tex did that profitable business. Tex made it popular. When it became popular in the 20s, it wasn't just Jack Dempsey. Tex had a big hand in that. Tex was the one promoting Jack Dempsey, right? That first $1 million gate was Jack Dempsey and George Carpenter. Yep, the French fighter, one of the greatest French fighters ever, George Carpenter. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, Ant was talking about it right there too, Dempsey Carpenter. Yeah, Tex promoted that one. He sure did. First $1 million gate and $2 million gate. Yeah, Tex did. Now, George Louis Tex Ricard. He was born January 2nd, 1870. American boxing promoter, founder of the New York Rangers of the National Hockey League. He owned them until his death, and builder of the third incarnation of Madison Square Garden in New York City. Now, during the 1920s, Tex Ricard was the leading promoter of the day, and he has been compared to P.T. Barnum and Don King. No, Don King and P.T. Barnum has been compared to Tex. Okay, Tex was first. Now, sports journalist Frank DeFord has written that Ricard first recognized the potential of the star system. Yeah, that was Tex, was the first one to recognize the potential of the star system. All these guys making all this money and stuff in boxing nowadays owe it to Tex Ricard. Yes, they do. He was the pioneer. And like I said, it had to be promoters before Tex because there was fights before him. Somebody had to set him up. But Tex made boxing popular. Okay, Tex was the one that started drawing all the big crowds to the sport and everything, right? Just Do Boxing. What's up, Just Do? In the building. Salute. Coming up at 4 p.m. That's the one warming you up for, right? And at 4 p.m., he's going to step on off into Just Do Boxing and get some balanced, unbiased boxing talk because everybody get their Just Do over there, man. Salute, Just Do. Okay. And now I lost my place running my mouth. That's where I was at. Last thing I said was he was the builder of the third incarnation of Madison Square Garden, right? In New York City. Yeah, Frank, that was the last thing. Frank DeFord. Yeah, Tex was the one that recognized the potential of the star system. Now, Ricard also operated several saloons, hotels, and casinos, and they were all named the Northern and located in Alaska, Nevada, and Canada. And Tex made boxing fashionable and highly profitable, okay? Ricard he was also a gambler and bartender, right? And he was the first boxing promoter to draw large audiences. Yes, he was. And guess what else he built? You ain't gonna believe this. Tex also built the Boston Garden. Yes, he did. He also built the Boston Garden. Tex Ricard. Told y'all about Tex, man. Big time sports guy. Now let's look at Tex's early years. The early years. That's right, Big Supreme, the GOAT. When you talk about promoters, Tex is the GOAT. Like they talk about Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. When you talk about promoting, football and basketball, Tom Brady and Michael Jordan, talking about promoting, you put Tex up there with them. That's the effect he had on boxing. Like you think about Tom Brady with football or Michael Jordan with boxing. That's the effect Michael Jordan with basketball. That's the effect Tex had on boxing, like Big Supreme said, the GOAT. G-O-A-T, GOAT. Let's look at Tex's early years. Okay, the early years. Now, he was born in Kansas City, Missouri. His younger years were spent in Sherman, Texas, where his parents had moved when he was, Tex was 4 years old. when his family moved to Texas. Okay, just 4 years old. His father died, right, and his mother then moved to Henrietta, Texas, while he was still a young boy. And he became a cowboy when he was 11 years old. That was right around 1881, right? He became a cowboy. Told you he chased all those gold rushes and everything. We're going to get into all of that. Yeah, after the death of his father, he became a cowboy. And at age 23, he was elected the town marshal of Henrietta, Texas. Town marshal. You had to be a bad man to be town marshal then. You didn't have a whole police force, the deputies and all that. You might have had one deputy. You had to handle all the outlaws and the gunfighters and everybody yourself. So Tex was a bad man, I'm telling you. Town marshal back in the 1800s, right? Henrietta, Texas. He acquired the nickname Tex at that time. That's when he acquired the nickname Tex. On July 2nd, 1894, Tex married Leona Biddick. And Leona's father was a physician in Henrietta, Texas. On February 3rd, 1895, their son Curtis L. Rickard was born. Oh, that was a good name. Some legendary people named Curtis. Yeah. Curtis L. Ricard was born. That's Cat Sport's first name, by the way. Now, but Leona Rickard died on March 11th, 1895. And Curtis Rickard died on May 4th, 1895. So his son and his wife died in the same year, a couple months apart. 1895, his wife died in March and his son died in May. So they had to be rough. So in November of that same year, Tex left Henrietta. You know, I would have to leave that town too. But wherever I was living, wife and son died a couple months apart. Yeah, Tex had to get away. He went to Alaska. And he was drawn by the discovery of gold there. You know, he had to get away from Henrietta because of the tragedies, and what better place to go to than somewhere where they just discovered gold at, you know? One person discovered it, so everybody's going to rush there and try to get rich quick. But he went to Alaska. So he was in the region where he learned of the nearby Klondike gold rush of 1897. And along with most of the other residents of Circle City, Alaska, he hurried to the Klondike, where he and his partner, Harry Ash, staked claims. But then they eventually sold their holdings for nearly $60,000. This was in 1897. I should have figured that, but that's a good piece of money in 1897, 60,000. Yeah. Probably like 500,000 or something nowadays, something like that. They then opened the Northern, which was a saloon, hotel, and gambling hall in Dawson City, Yukon, Canada. He had several saloons and gambling halls, and he named all of them the Northern. All of them had the same name. Yeah. Sure did. And he lost everything he had, including his share of the Northern, his hotel and gambling house, through gambling. Yeah, Tex was an adventurer, you know. He lived life. You know, Tex didn't mess around. He enjoyed himself. But he lost everything through gambling, right? And while working as a poker dealer and bartender at the Monte Carlo Saloon and Gambling Hall, he and Wilson Misner began promoting boxing. Okay? This was right around 1900. In spring of 1999, with only $35, Ricard and many others left to chase gold again. This time he went to Nome, Alaska. Okay? Now Ricard was a friend of Wyatt Earp, who was also a boxing fan. And Wyatt Earp had often officiated a number of matches during his life. Okay? Including the famous fight between Bob Fitzsimmons and Tom Sharkey in San Francisco on December 2nd, 1896. Wyatt Earp was the referee for that. Now, Ricard sent Earp a number of letters belittling Wyatt's steady but small income, managing a share in St. Michael's as chicken feed and persuaded Earp to relocate to Nome where he was at. Then the two were lifelong friends, although for a brief period of time, they operated competing saloons in Nome. Now, Earp and a partner owned the Dexter Saloon, and Ricard owned the Northern Hotel and Bar. In 1902, Ricard married Edith May Haig of Sacramento, California, so he remarried in 1902. Okay, we won't get to the boxing part, but this man had a very adventurous life. Okay, so he remarried again in 1902. They had a daughter. Her name was Bessie, and guess what? She died at 5 years old in 1907, so he didn't have good luck with children. His son Curtis died when he was young, and then his daughter died when she was 5 years old, right? 1907. And then his wife died October 30th, 1925, at her home in New York City. So by 1906, Tex was running the Northern Saloon and Casino in Goldfield, Nevada. In Goldfield, he promoted a professional boxing match between Joe Gans and Battling Nelson. Okay, Joe Gans and Battling Nelson. Here's Joe Gans and Battling Nelson. Okay, that was his first big fight. You know, Joe Gans was the first African-American champion. Okay. George Dixon was the first black champion, but he was Canadian, right? Joe Gans was the first African-American boxing champion. That's him on the right, obviously, right? Can't be him on the left, but he was the first African-American boxing champion, right? Okay. So Tex promoted this fight between Joe Gans and Battling Nelson. The gate receipt of $69,000 set a record at that time. 69 at the gate. His first big fight set a record. Okay? Tex knew how to do it, man. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? I knew Mike Rim was coming. Mike Rim been here since the beginning. Salute, Mike. Okay. Yeah, Tex's first big fight set a record for the gate. Almost $70,000, $69,715, right? And Gans defeated Nelson. I told you about this fight before. Nelson got disqualified in the 42nd round. Gans broke his arm in the 34th round. Fought the last 8 rounds with a broken arm, right? I mean, it's hard enough to fight a 12-round fight with a broken arm. This man was in the 34th round, broke his arm, and fought 8 more rounds to the 42nd round. Okay, and the fight was held to publicize the community. A year later, Ricard opened the Northern Hotel in Ely, Nevada. He moved around a lot too. And Tex also organized the Ely Athletic Club and was the owner of several mining properties in the Ely area. In December 1909, Ricard and John Gleason won the right to stage the World Heavyweight Championship fight between James J. Jeffries and Jack Johnson. Remember that one? That was the one where they was upset about having a black heavyweight champion, so they recruited James J. Jeffries to try to take it from him. And Tex promoted that one. Mm-hmm. Now, Tex had planned to hold this fight on July 4th, 1910 in San Francisco, but opposition from the governor of California, James Gillette, and Attorney General Ulysses S. Webb caused Tex to have to move the fight to Reno, Nevada. And Ricard and Gleason made a profit of about $120,000 on this fight, which was won by Johnson. Okay? Yeah, Jack Johnson won that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, big between. It made $7.8 million between 1924 and 1926, which would be $128 million in today's currency. Yeah, Tex made some money, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, $128 million in today's currency. Yeah. So when you hear these small figures from back then, in today's money, that is a whole bunch. Like 7.8 was 128 million now. So when he made that 120,000, that's at least about 500,000-600,000 nowadays, maybe more. That's what he made off of the Jack Johnson and Jim Jeffries fight, right? Now, on February 18th, 1911, Ricard announced that he was through with the business of prize fighting and set sail for Argentina. Took a little break. There he acquired between 270,000 and 327,000 acres in Paraguay to start a cattle ranch. And Ricard managed the ranch for the Farquhar Syndicate, where landholders in South America totaled over 5 million acres. Yeah, Tex moved around and he got into a whole bunch of different things during his life. I told you he was an adventurer. At its peak, the ranch consisted of about 1 million acres and had between 20,000 and 50,000 head of cattle. In 1913, Texas Ranch was involved in a political controversy between Paraguay and Argentina, Bolivia, and Brazil. 2 of Texas' employees were killed by Bolivian soldiers stationed in the disputed territory. That same year, Tex accompanied Theodore Roosevelt on part of the Roosevelt-Rondon scientific expedition. Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt later became president, remember? And the cattle business failed by the end of 1915. And Ricard's loss was stated to be about $1 million. So $1 million in 1915. That's what he lost. And according to NHL.com, in 1924, Tex Ricard was the first man to refer to the Montreal Canadiens as the Habs. Ricard apparently told a reporter that the H on the Canadian sweaters was for habitants. And at the time, this was a pejorative term, equivalent to redneck in Canadian French, right? In 1916, Tex returned to the United States. And on February 3rd, Jess Willett agreed to Ricard's offer to fight Frank Moran in New York City. So he said he was through with boxing, but he came back to it, right? He was born to be a promoter. But Jess Willett agreed to fight Frank Moran in New York City. Okay. The fight was held on March 13th, 1916 at Madison Square Garden. Then in its second incarnation at 26th Street and Madison Avenue in Manhattan, right? It's in Manhattan. And $152,000 in-gate receipts set a new record for an indoor event. And the purse was the largest ever awarded for no decision. So yeah, Tex was constantly setting records, Tex promoted the July 4th, 1919 fight between World Heavyweight Champion Jess Willett and Jack Dempsey. Yeah, Jack Dempsey he just destroyed Jess Willett. Look at the size difference between those two guys. He messed Jess Willett's face up so bad, he got accused of having something in his gloves. But Tex promoted this fight. And this fight drew 20,000 to 21,000 spectators, right? And it was kind of disappointing because the area seated 80,000. And the receipts were estimated to be $452,000. After expenses, Ricard made a profit of $100,000. After the Willett-Dempsey fight, Ricard began bidding for the title fight between Dempsey and George Carpenter. Okay, that was the first $1 million gate there. He began bidding for that one. The Jack Dempsey versus George Carpenter fight took place on July 2nd, 1921 in a specially built arena in Jersey City, New Jersey. The fight withdrew a record crowd of 90,000 people. 90,000 people in 1921 to a boxing fight, which drew a record crowd of 90,000, and it was the first ever boxing fight to produce $1 million gate. Okay, first ever. And the exact amount was $1,789,238, and also the first world title fight to be carried on radio. Yep, Jack Dempsey, George Carpenter. First $1 million gate and the first fight ever on radio. Now, Ricard's profits on the fight was reported to be $550,000. Now, that's well over $1 million nowadays, because that was in 1921, right? 1921. Yeah. So he earned $550,000. That's well over $1 million nowadays. Might be a couple. On July 12, 1920, shortly after the Walker Law reestablished legal boxing in the state of New York, Ricard secured a 10-year lease of Madison Square Garden from its owner at the time, which was the New York Life Insurance Company. He promoted a number of championship fights as well as amateur fights at the Garden. His largest gate at the Garden came from the Jack Dempsey Bill Brennan fight on December 14th, 1920. Jack Dempsey, Bill Brennan. December 14th, 1920. Okay? Now the Benny Leonard, Richie Mitchell, and Johnny Wilson, Michael Dow fights. Now I gotta shift this thing up. Bear with me for a minute. Okay. Benny Leonard and oh man, excuse me for a minute. I don't know what I just did. Here we go. Hit the wrong thing. There's Benny Leonard and Richie Mitchell, and also Johnny Wilson and Michael Dowd. There's Michael Dowd right there. Either Benny Leonard and Johnny Wilson, Benny Leonard, Richie Mitchell, and Johnny Wilson, Michael Dowd fights also drew well. In addition to boxing, Ricard hosted a number of other events, including 6-day bicycle races. And he constructed the world's largest indoor swimming pool at the Garden. On February 17th, 1922, Ricard was indicted on charges of abducting and sexually assaulting underage girls, right? He lost his license to make and promote boxing in New York, right? And he gave up control of the Garden. Now, Ricard was found not guilty on one of the indictments on March 29th, 1922, and the others were dropped as a result. And he did get his license and everything back to promote fights. Yes, he did. So he came back to boxing. He was found not guilty on one charge, and the rest of them were dropped as a result. Now, you know he sued somebody, Tex. After the trial, Ricard's attorney, Max Stewart, accused 2 workers of the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children of demanding $50,000 from Ricard in exchange for the girls changing their testimony at trial. That's probably who he sued right there. The New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. It was never proven that they did that, but his lawyer accused him of it. But the district attorney could not find any evidence to corroborate this claim. Yeah, that was his lawyer came up with that, but it was never proven. Okay. On May 12th, 1923, Ricard promoted the first boxing card at Yankee Stadium. It drew 60,000 spectators. A then record crowd for a boxing fight in New York State. And he made $182,903.26, which was donated to Millicent Hearst Milk Fund. On September 14th, 1923, Ricard promoted his second $1 million gate. Okay, when around 100,000 people attended the Jack Dempsey versus Louis Angel Firpo fight. Wow, 100,000 there. Yeah, that was a strange fight there too, because this fight was at the Polo Grounds. Firpo knocked Jack Dempsey through the ropes in the first round, and Jack was saved by the bell when they got him back in there to his stool. He said, "Who won the fight?" And they had to tell him the fight's still going on, Jack. Yeah, that was Jack Dempsey and Louis Angel Firpo. 100,000 people at that. Wow, at the Polo Grounds. In September 1924, Tex promoted the fight between Louis Angel Firpo and Harry Wills in Jersey City, New Jersey. Angel Firpo and Harry Wills. There they are. Jersey City, New Jersey. This fight was attended by 60,000, but the paid attendance was only 48,500. Ricard lost $5,000 on this fight. Then on March 19th, he had some legal troubles too now. On March 15th, 1925, Ricard was convicted of violating federal law that prevented the interstate transportation of fight films. He faced jail time, but was instead fined $7,000. Okay? He had a few legal troubles. Excuse me for a minute. I gotta take a drink. Where is it? Oh, man. Oh, I got it. I thought it was still in the refrigerator. Excuse me. Yeah, Tex had a couple legal troubles. He had the thing with the underage girl, but it was found not guilty. Everything was dropped. He did lose his license to promote temporarily, but he got it back. As you can see, he's still promoting. And then he was convicted of violating federal law, preventing the interstate transport of fight films. And he was fined $7,000 for that. That's a lot more than $7,000 nowadays, too. Probably like $50,000, something like that, I would think. Up in there somewhere. In 1926, Tex promoted the Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney fight at Susquehanna Centennial Station in Philly. The fight attracted a record crowd of 135,000. Okay, that was the record then, 135,000 folks. That's big time nowadays, and this was 1925, 135,000 people. But that's what Tex did, man. Tex out there nowadays, he might draw like 1 billion people to a fight, man. Tex knew how to promote. Like Big Supreme said, he was a GOAT of promoters. Not the Barfather, not Don King, Tex Ricard. And he was doing this way back in the 20s. And he brought in a wreck without social media and all. Imagine Tex had social media and everything, man. Had content creators and stuff promoting the fights too. Wow, imagine that. And he brought in a record gate of $1.8 million. Okay, almost $2 million, 1.895. He also promoted, wait a minute, that was Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney, right? And he also promoted, I don't know if that's him. He also promoted the rematch between Dempsey and Tunney, now known as the long count fight, which was held in Chicago. I told you about that. That was just when Tunney went. That was the first fight where they started using this, where the fighter had to go to the neutral corner. Because before then, the fighter could just stand right there with the referee while he counted. So that was the fight where they started the neutral corner. And Jack didn't go to the corner right away. So the referee stopped counting. But the timekeeper was counting, but the referee didn't pick it up from the timekeeper. And Tunney got extra time to be on the mat. A lot of people said Dempsey threw the fight, but I don't think so. I think he was just confused because he never had to go to a neutral corner before. That's why he didn't go right away, right? I don't know why they would say he threw it. It's the first time they ever used that rule, so he wasn't used to doing that. Okay? And anyway, if the referee would have been counting, Tunney might have got up. But the referee not counting, why get up? Stay down and get as much time to recuperate as possible. So I don't think the fight was thrown. But that's why it was called the long count fight. That was in Chicago. I think in Chicago. I forgot the name of that. Was the Chicago Stadium? Might have been Soldier Field. This fight brought in the first $2 million gate. $2.6 million. It was the first to feature a $1 million purse. Ooh-wee. I don't know which one made it, probably Jack Dempsey or both of them, but it was first to feature a $1 million purse. That was a big purse back in 1925, man. And Ricard reported that between 1924 and 1926, his gate receipts totaled $7.79 million, of which he kept 80% after taxes. Now, on May 31st, 1923, Ricard filed incorporation papers for the new Madison Square Garden Corporation, a company formed for the purpose of building and operating a new sports arena in New York City. Okay? In 1924, he purchased a car barn block on 8th Avenue between 49th and 50th Street. He acquired the rights to the name Madison Square Garden as the building's owners planned on tearing it down and replacing it with an office building. Okay? They was going to tear the garden down and replace it with an office building, man. Wow. Just think all these years, no Madison Square Garden. Where would Ali Frazier 1 have been at? Thomas W. But Tex saved it. Thomas W. Lamb was selected to design the new building. That's when Jack, they did tear it down, but Jack built the new one. He bought the rights to the name, and he built another. This was the third one. He built the third incarnation of it. Okay, what's tore down? The destruction of the car barns began January 9th, 1925. The new arena opened on November 28th, 1925. The first event was the preliminaries for the annual 6-day bicycle race. It hosted its first major event on December 11th, 1925, when a record indoor crowd of 20,000 attended the Paul Berlenbach-Jack Delaney fight. Okay? Paul Berlenbach, Jack Delaney. I don't know if that's them. That's somebody. $148,155 gate broke the record for an indoor boxing event. In January 1926, Ricard purchased WWGL Radio, which he moved to the Garden and renamed it WMSG. WMSG. Okay. I wonder if that's still around, WMSG. Following the success of the New York Americans in the Garden's first year, the Madison Square Garden Corporation decided to establish a second team, this one controlled by the corporation itself. The new team was nicknamed Texas Rangers. That was the hockey. That's when he founded the New York Rangers, and later became known as the New York Rangers. Okay? Yeah, the first hockey team was so successful, they started a new one. Texas Rangers, became the New York Rangers. Now, Ricard he sought to repeat the success of the Madison Square Garden by building 7 Madison Square Gardens around the country. Okay? In 1927, a group led by Ricard signed a 25-year lease for a sports arena at the new North Station facility in Boston. The Boston Garden opened on November 17th, 1928. Tex had a hand in that. So he built the third incarnation of Madison Square Garden and the original Boston Garden. Tex Ricard. Yep. In 1929, Ricard and George R.K. Carter opened the Miami Beach Kennel Club Greyhound track. They also planned a number of other ventures, including Jai Alai grounds adjacent to the Kennel Club and a horse track right on an island in Biscayne Bay. Okay, let me take these glasses off. Now, Ricard also hoped to someday to build a hotel and casino that would rival those in Monte Carlo. Okay, let's look at Tex's personal life. Look at his personal life. Wind it down on Tex. Personal life. Ricard met Maxie Hodges, a former actress, 23 years his junior, at the Dempsey Furpo fight, and the couple were married on October 7th, 1926, in Lewisburg, West Virginia. On June 7th, 1927, the couple's daughter, Maxine Texas Ricard, was born. On December 26, 1928, Ricard left New York for Miami Beach, Florida, where he was completing arrangements for a fight between Jack Sharkey and Young Stribling, and attending the opening of the Miami Beach Kennel Club. On New Year's Eve, Ricard was stricken with appendicitis, okay? And he was operated on. Ricard died on January 6, 1929, due to complications from his appendectomy. He was interred at Woodlawn Cemetery, the Bronx, New York. I think he was 59. Yeah, 59. 58, going on 59. Okay? Because he was born, that's actually, that was yesterday. Yeah, he was born he was 59, because he was born January 2nd, 1970. He died 4 days after his birthday. He died January 6, 1929. Wow. Almost born and died on the same day. Wow. Okay. Now, yeah, I got some current promoters we're going to talk about, okay? Some of the current people. You know, like Don King, Bob Father, Eddie Hearns, those people. But first, let's oh, wait a minute. Let's listen to the raffle again, because we only got a couple of days now. I want to remind everybody of these great prizes, so you can go on and get them tickets and get in it. Amen. Just hitting buttons here. That's the camera. That ain't the raffle. Let me be quiet on where I'm gonna get it. There it is. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
Okay, we're going to talk about some current promoters now. But get those tickets because you only got a couple of days. We got about 60 people in it. It's Saturday. Don't count on getting to Saturday because I don't know when the drawing going to be. You might try to get a ticket Saturday and get told the winner has already been announced. $10, 3 for $25. Can't beat it. Okay, now we're going to talk about some current promoters. Now, boxing is one of the most popular sports around the world. Okay, there's no doubt this sport brought a lot of fame and money to several boxers. No doubt about it. Okay, there's the Bob Foster. Brought a lot of money to him too. But a boxing fight cannot be promoted without a boxing promoter, right? Now, boxing promoter is a key aspect in promoting boxing to the next level. Okay, the boxing is one of the most popular sports. Wait a minute now. Yeah, a promoter is a key aspect to promoting boxing to the next level and attaining fans. This way, boxers get worldwide recognition and are able to showcase their talent in front of the fans. Now let's look at some of the top promoters in the sport today, okay? First, no, the Godfather ain't first. The Godfather's chief rival, what used to be, was first. Godfather was left Don King in the dust. Yeah, Don King is first. Don King. Now, when it comes to a boxing event, you cannot miss Don King. He is undoubtedly the most influential promoter in boxing history. King is the person who brought the biggest boxing events into the picture. Featuring the legendary boxer Muhammad Ali at the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman in the 1970s. He promoted several other fights, including the likes of Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, Tomas Adamek, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Chris Bird, and many more. Moreover, he also signed Mike Tyson, who became a center of attraction in the 1990s, okay? And then we have the Bob Foster. There he is, the legendary Bob Foster. And you know, when I did my list, I had like 50 of the most influential, most significant figures in boxing history. Don King Bob Foster was top 5. Love him or hate him, they've been significant in this sport, man. They done brought us some big fights. And still doing it. But I mean, boy, they still doing it. Okay, still doing it. Bob Foster just had a big card last weekend, didn't he? We got about 5 cards this weekend too. One of them probably the Bob Foster, as a matter of fact. But the Bob Foster, okay? Now, Bob Arum Lance, he promoted several boxing stars, many boxing stars. His promotion, Top Rank, founded in 1973, brought many fighters into the spotlight. Now, although Arum is not fond of boxing competitor MMA. He is one of the top promoters for boxing. He has been successful in launching the careers of big boxing stars such as Oscar De La Hoya, the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran, George Foreman, and Manny Pacquiao. And they all eventually became world champions. CEO of Top Rank, the Bob Father is behind the classic Marvin Hagler versus Tommy Hearns fight and Hagler versus Leonard, both Four Kings fights that happened in the 1980s, two of the biggest fights of the 80s, promoted by the Bob Father himself, the legendary Bob Father, okay? The legendary Bob Father. There he is. Next, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar. The Golden Boy. Now, Oscar is one of the modern day promoters who is actively promoting fights right now. He's the founder of Golden Boy Promotions. He's also a former boxer who actually stepped into the squared circle. Unlike other promoters, De La Hoya is capable of promoting any boxing event due to his boxing background, and many other boxers have backed the Golden Boy Promotions. The fight between Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is one of the biggest fights under Golden Boy Promotions. Yeah, they did that one, Floyd and Oscar. Yeah. Yeah, Oscar's still doing his thing. Frank Warren, Queensbury Promotions. It's Frank Warren. Yeah. Frank embarrassed Eddie over there. Remember the 5-on-5 they had over there? Was the Riyadh? Wasn't that the last one before this one this weekend? When Frank went 5-0 against Eddie, topped off by that Wilder debacle against Zilly Zhang. Yeah, Eddie looked like he wanted to cry. Couldn't win a fight. Now Frank Warren, promoter and manager from England, he's among the top 5 influential promoters of all time. Owner of Queensbury Promotion. He's also regarded as one of the most successful promoters in the United Kingdom. The British boxer Ricky Hatton became a huge star under Frank Warren. Remember him, Ricky Hatton? Became a huge star under Frank Warren's influence. And he only had 2 losses in his professional career. And guess who those 2 losses were to? Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. That ain't nothing to hang your head about. I did not know that, man. I told you I'm learning. Ricky Hatton's only 2 losses were Floyd and Manny. And he also made some big signings after the 2008 Olympics, right? And despite being a rookie in the early stage of his promotions, he managed to draw good attention for boxing, which eventually made him a successful promotion in British history. Frank Warren. Next. Y'all know this guy here. Eddie. Eddie Hearns. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey, is in the building. What's up, Ray? Talking about promoters. Well, we talked about Tex Ricard, the GOAT of promoters. I like that. Vic Supreme told me that the GOAT. I'm going to use that one. Tex Ricard is the GOAT of promoters. If I can find my ink, could I be happy? There it is. Salute, Ray Patterson. Yeah, we talked. The show was on the GOAT, Tex Ricard. I wish I would have said that. You should have told me that yesterday, Vic Supreme. I would have let out with that. That would have been in the title. The GOAT, Tex Ricard. Man, good one. Yeah, now we're talking about some people, some guys, men and women. We got a woman in here too that's actively promoting right now. A salute, Ray Patterson. Eddie Hearn is next. Yep. Now, Eddie Hearn he's a British sports promoter who owns both Matchroom Sports and the Professional Darts Corporation. He has promoted some of the notable names in the boxing world. Okay, current Canelo ain't undisputed at 68 no more, but former undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez. Now he don't even promote Canelo no more. No, sorry. He used to promote Canelo. He also drew some of the highest crowd counts in Wembley Stadium, with 80,000 to 90,000 fans in attendance. On the other hand, in May 2018, he drew the first billion-dollar boxing deal after the Zone and Matchroom agreed to live streaming in the U.S. Billion-dollar deal, right? Wow, between his company and the Zone. Kathy Duba. I think she's Lou Duba's daughter, I believe. Yeah, I think Joe told me that a while back. She's a promoter. Lou Duba's daughter. Remember Lou Duba, the trainer? Trained Weepy, Pernell Whitaker? Yeah. That's his daughter. Kathy Duba, promoter. Now, Kathy is also a well-known American promoter, owner of the Main Events boxing promotion. Now, that wasn't Main Event. That was, I think it was Main Bout when Bob Father and the Nation of Islam had that company back in the 60s. Main Bout promotion. He owns Main Event, Kathy Duba. He brought some of the notable stars into the spotlight. Sergey Kovalev, he was the top boxer from our promotion to achieve great heights. He won the world title. On the other hand, Evan Holyfield, the son of Evander Holyfield is not passed away. The son of Evander Holyfield is also represented by Kathy Davis Promotions. Okay. Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather. Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather, because Al Heyman is supposed to be a manager, but I call him promoter. Man. What's the difference? Under the Ali law, that you can't be a manager and promoter. The Ali, whatever they call that. But Al Heyman is a manager and promoter. Come on, man. He just called himself a manager. But this is Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather. Now, the 5-time Boxing Writers of America Manager of the Year Award, Al Heyman, is also a big name in the boxing world. He manages some of the big boxing stars. He used to manage Floyd and Vernon Forrest. Remember Vernon Forrest? And many of these big names today. Now, alongside Floyd Mayweather Jr., he also managed several other stars, right? Joe Joyce, Manny Pacquiao, Andy Ruiz Jr., Earl Spence Jr., Deontay Wilder, Danny Garcia, Amir Khan, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Just a couple more. Akihiko Honda. Okay. Just Akihiko. Japanese, right? Now, Akihito is a Japanese boxing promoter, widely known for promoting Masao Oba. He has been successful in promoting Oba, who later won the world title in 1970. He owns the Taikan promotion, and he is also one of the names who promoted Mike Tyson, Gennaro Hernandez, Chiro Watanabe, Chishaku Hamada, and many others. Are some of the boxing's biggest stars promoted by Honda. And finally, Haley Solin, the German, I believe. Yeah, promoted what was the German guy name that was in the Super 6? I know they're going to say it. Yeah, he promoted him. Haley Solin is the top German boxing promoter. He started his career in his father's promotional company, rising to the ranks of junior manager. Okay, and he was one of the top boxing promoters in Europe. After taking over his father's business, he expanded the business mainstream and promoted several boxing events inside and outside of Germany. He's also the co-founder of Misfit Boxing, right? Yeah, there you have it. The GOAT, Tex Ricard, and a few active promoters. Yeah. We're going to get a little late time today, 3:30ish. The board's coming up in 30 minutes. I'm going to put the link in. Anybody want to come up and chop it up? Come on. Chop it up with me. I heard David Morrell and what's the name of the schedule? Somebody was talking about that this morning. That's going to be on Just Do Boxing in a half hour. David Benavidez makes fight with David Morrell. So join The Voice, Just Do Boxing at 4 o'clock to hear about that. Wow, yeah, I can't wait to hear that. I heard they had made that, yeah. Just Do gonna put us down with that at 4. Wow. That's gonna be a good one. Who y'all got, man, in that? I don't know. It's gonna be a good one. A lot of people say, well, David Morrell ain't ready. Only one way to find out, put him in that ring. He say he ready, put him in there. Okay? I think he's ready. Got that Cuban background. Yeah, I believe he's ready. We're going to see, though. That's what somebody said it was in January. So that should be a pretty decent fight. I don't know who I got, to be honest. But the good thing about it, just like the fight this weekend, we are getting it. Bivol, Archer, Beterbiev. But we got a lot of late time, 30 minutes. You normally get about 30 minutes, you know. To chop it up. As everyone, this hump day. Don't forget tomorrow, the Boxing in the States series continue. Okay, we passed halfway in the alphabet now. It's Maine. We're going to talk about Ali and Liston. 2, the Phantom Punch fight. Nobody saw the punch. Ali and Liston didn't even see it. You know? Liston just went down. First round, he didn't waste no time. Somebody said the Nation of Islam had his wife and his child hostage and told him, you know what you got to do. So, and he didn't mess around. They had supposed to have put a gun to his head a couple of days before the fight, but then on fight day, they didn't think they got their message across good enough. So after he left the suite that morning to go to the arena, the Nation of Islam showed up and went and knocked on the door. His wife let him in, and they said they're going to be there with him for the day. And they got the message to Sonny, we got your wife and your child here, Sonny. You know what you got to do. So Sonny, he did what he had to do. He did what anybody would do, you know, if that's the true story. It's just a fight. You still getting paid, right? And they got your wife and, your wife and your child. And Sonny didn't mess around. He went down in the first round. You know? People on the first row didn't see the punch. Sonny didn't see the punch. Ali didn't see the punch. Sonny did what he had to do. A great fighter. Legendary, Sonny Liston. In the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He was thought to be invincible until he got in there with Ali. Cus D'Amato kept him away from Floyd Patterson forever. And then once they got in the ring, we saw why. Because he knocked Floyd out twice in the first round. I think the second fight was like 4 seconds faster than the first one. But yeah, that's why Cus kept him away from kept Floyd Patterson away from Sonny, because he knew Cus knew what would happen. Cus told Mike Tyson to stay away from George Foreman. And Mike never got in there. Even after Cuss passed and George came back for his second career, Mike still never got in there with George. Now, when Mike came out of prison, they was trying to get George to be his first fight. It was, I forgot who the guy was, but it didn't work out. But the guy he did get in there with, it was a pay-per-view fight. It was one of the top 10 pay-per-views of all time as far as revenue, as far as buys and stuff, right? Buys. But top 10. So just think if it would have been Big George, it would have been top 5, you know? Yeah. But it never happened. Mike always remembered what Cuss told him. Do not get in that ring with George for me. It's just not a good matchup for you. You know, Cuss was looking at what another short heavyweight happened to another short heavyweight. Like depression, named Joe Frazier. Oh yeah, named Joe Frazier. George destroyed him. Knocked him down 6 times in 2 rounds and stopped him. Yes, he did. And next week for the fantasy matchups Monday is Manny Pacquiao versus the Legends. The Pac-Man. Yep. And the Pac-Man came a long way, so he got a lot of potential matchups. Where did he come from? Like 108 all the way to junior middleweight, or was it welterweight? I know Manny skipped a couple classes. I don't think he ever fought at lightweight. And I believe lightweight and junior super lightweight. I think he jumped over them. Because he could have had 10 weight classes, but he skipped over a couple. So he's Monday, and it's a whole lot of potential matchups for him. A wide range. Won championships in 8 of them, remember? So yeah, Manny Pacquiao. How would a fight between Manny and Tank go at lightweight? Probably what happened to him against Juan Manuel Marquez would probably happen to him. Yeah, I don't know though. We might have that matchup Monday. We might have it. So make sure you join me at 2:00. Another big week of boxing history. Still got 2 more days left in this one though. And then the big Riyadh season. We will have our first 4-belt undisputed at 175 this weekend. Will it be Bivol or will it be Beterbiev? Somebody said that Bivol is the favorite going in. I heard that this morning. Wow. Somebody said that Bivol is the favorite. Ooh. I guess it would be by decision. Although Beterbiev could get a decision. I wouldn't be surprised. Because the man's got skills. You know, sometimes when a boxer had that one-hitter quitter, that power, 100% knockout rate like that, a lot of people don't pay attention to their boxing skills. You know, the fighters do. I'm saying fans. You know, Bivol knows Beterbiev has top level boxing skills, but a lot of fans don't pay attention to the skills when they see that 100% knockout rate like that. You know, they just think the man is primarily a puncher. And if he can't get you out of there, he can't win, but that is not true at all. That is not true. Beterbiev can beat you a number of ways. It ain't just got to be by the knockout route. He just has beaten everybody by that route so far in his career. Did anybody ever end their career with 100% knockout rate? It's interesting. That sounds like a show. Anybody ever ended their career with 100% knockout? The business of boxing is complex and involves many different aspects, including how boxers make money. Now, boxers earn money from a variety of sources, including fight night purse, a fixed split between the fighters. That's the fight night purse. Pay-per-view shares, a tiered rate based on the number of pay-per-view buys. Okay. Fighters also earn money from advertisement revenue. Boxers can earn money from advertisement. Live stadium gate share, a fixed split between the fighters. Now, the difficulty of making money. Boxing is considered one of the most physically demanding sports in the world, but it can be difficult to make money. The number of people who go from grassroots to become a world champion is small. Now, the role of promotions companies manage the promotion of star fighters, okay? The role of the cutmen. Cutmen provide treatment to fighters and can be a key factor in the outcome of a fight. Now, cutmen typically receive 2 to 3% of the fighter's prize money. Okay? The role of team ownership. Some coaches, managers, and fighters are looking for new ways to achieve success while maintaining control over their team. The global boxing equipment industry. In 2021, the global boxing equipment industry was worth over $1.6 billion. Okay? There's also a documentary short film called The Business of Boxing. Okay? Yeah, that's very interesting, the business part of the sport. But that's how they make money, you know? What happened to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? Did I miss that one too? That sounds like a show, The Business of Boxing. So we got Just Do Boxing next. Today is Wednesday, so the lineup for the rest of the day is Just Do Boxing at 4, BVO Boxing TV at 8, and the Rise Podcast at 9 p.m. to shut the day down. Now, some people think that the history of boxing as a glamorous business, as promotion rather than as a sport, begins with Muhammad Ali and Don King. Before Ali, they say boxing was just a bunch of palookas punching each other. Ali was boxing's first showman, they say. The first glamour boy, the first bad guy who the fans loved to hate, the first black athlete to be revered worldwide. No, that was Joe Louis. The sport's first true media creation. Joe was like a hero, though, especially when they went into World War II. Yeah, he was really loved. Okay. Now, Don King, meanwhile, is sometimes thought of as the original larger-than-life promoter, the man who first showed us that boxing can be turned into one small part of a weeks-long media circus. Yeah, Don King started that fight week always wasn't a fight week. Don King, we can really thank Don King for fight week, okay? And fight week can end by grossing, like the Holyfield Foreman fight, well over $70 million. But the truth is, Ali and King were simply another case of history repeating itself. Joe Louis was really the first black athlete to be a hero, you know. He came along after Jack, and they really groomed Joe Louis to. Joe Louis was already a low-key person, but his management and everything made sure it stayed that way because Jack Johnson just flaunted it and tested the establishment, and but they made sure Joe Louis wasn't that way. And then he went in World War II, and all the people loved him. Told you a story about the one soldier. He had got injured. His eyes had got injured in combat, and he wasn't supposed to take the bandages off for a certain time because he still had a chance that he wouldn't lose his sight. But if he took those bandages off too soon, he would definitely lose his sight. And Joe Louis came to visit the hospital where he was at. So he told the nurse to take his bandages off. And the nurse said, "No, you risk your eyes." And the man said, "I don't care. To get one look at Joe Louis, I'll take a chance on losing my sight." That's how big and beloved Joe Louis was during World War II. The man was willing to take a chance on losing his sight, but he would always had that memory of seeing Joe Louis up close and personal, Yeah, so he was Joe Louis was a big hero, man. And at the same time, he was so beloved in the situation that was going on at home in the United States. That's what the Nazis said, to the United States. They're all over here trying to tell us and, get on us about how we treating people. Look at how y'all treat y'all black people over there in the United States, man. Nazis was like, get out of our business, man. And yeah, so that kind of had a little truthfulness to it, And Sugar Ray was like a showman too. Sugar Ray was just Sugar Ray, He was who the pound for pound list was created for. Sugar Ray Robinson, the best of all time. I always have called Joe Louis the greatest though, because of that 25 win title defense streak he had, man. Anytime 25 straight defenses, and only out of the 25, only 2 people went the distance with him, man. That's greatest type stuff. And then 15 out of those 23 stoppages was in the first 5 rounds. 6 of them in the first round. And back then they was fighting 6, 7, 8 times a year. He was doing all that during that period, He wasn't fighting just once every 6 months or once or twice a year. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that, the noise. Broke my lamp last week. I don't know what I'm gonna break this time. But yeah, Joe Louis wasn't fighting once every 6 months or once every year. He was fighting 5, 6, 7 times a year, man. I told you about Jake LaMotta. Him and Sugar Ray Robinson, they had fought 6 times. But the second and third fight, the second fight, I believe, was February 5th, 1943. And the third fight was February 24th, 1943. No, I didn't get the year wrong. 3 weeks later. And then, 2 weeks after the second Sugar Ray fight, he fought somebody else. So he fought 3 times in like a month, little over a month. Okay? But he did it. Yeah. You know about Henry Armstrong, the man was champion in 3 weight classes simultaneously, defending all of them, going up and down, defending them. And weight classes wasn't that close because we didn't have no juniors and supers. He was lightweight. He was featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight champion at the same time. And featherweight and welterweight was like 20-something pounds apart. How is that possible? This man holding 2 titles simultaneously, 20 pounds apart. But he did it. He did it. 1938, he won 20 fights. Only to come back in 1938 and 39 and win 11. Harry Grant was 44-0. Not for his career, just in 1919. He was 44-0 in 1919. That one year. Okay. 44-0 in 1 year. Think of that, 44 fights. That's an entire career nowadays, 44 fights. Wow. That's an entire career. Yeah, Al Booger, ain't that so true? You in bad shape. Oh, Lord. When the Nazis, I was running my mouth. Yeah, sorry. When the Nazis have a damn T Hill, how long you been back there?
Like 10 minutes.
God damn. You have to
Maybe
have some
15.
kind of buzzer or something, man.
But you've been cooking, so I ain't tripping. But.
Yeah.
And besides, we got other people having a pretty good conversation up in the chat. I mean, hell, Big Supreme was up in there.
Yeah, no.
Having dialogue about my man Ricard.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they did earlier in this. Yeah. Yeah, Big Supreme had, like, he made 7.8 between 2 years. And that's $128 million nowadays. So $128 million in 2 years, man. That's what it's equivalent to nowadays.
Well, so, he recognized the entertainment value in watching people fight. And there's always been that entertainment. That's since times it began. I mean, hell, they had people send their best man against their other country, against another country's best man to settle who would win. I mean, we see that up in the movie Troy, you know, between Hector and Achilles. So, you know, and throughout all the fights they did, where they would be their best fighter versus the other country's best fighter, and the winner would have the victor.
Yeah.
Would have the spoils. So, I mean, we've always had a system where we're engaged by gladiators fighting. So, you know.
Yeah, that's so true.
Definitely. So now when you add the spectacle of like society and societal norms into the play, you can even capitalize more, because let's face it, there are times when fighting was going on a lot, being allowed, that people that look like us couldn't even get in the ring. And then when they allowed us to get in the ring, it's even more of a dynamic, because now we get to physically watch somebody show how superior they are to our race, right? So people gonna pay for that, because they want to see you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it matriculated real fast, and it's always great entertainment. It's always something about one-on-one, seeing who's the best of the thing, and watching people contend like that. So yeah, it's not a shock that it was. It's just that he understood it and how to package it, how to sell it. And you know, from there, you know, it spawned, like you said, Don King and all the other people who followed after that. Yeah, he definitely truly is a pioneer in the fact that he made it a spectacle.
He didn't have no social media or none of that kind of stuff, but he was doing everything he was doing. Just imagine him in this era, man.
Yeah.
Somebody with that kind of mind, you know.
But see, that could be said of Don King. Imagine Don King in this era.
He didn't either. You're right. He didn't either.
So it's like the greats didn't have the advent of access instantaneously, simultaneously, and ubiquitously around the world. So I mean, you know, he would have thrived and flourished because he had a vision. That's likewise, King, your boy Don King had a vision. You know, thrived and flourished like nobody's business. Imagine the money that he made and how much it would translate into these times. So,
you know?
Yeah, you know. Shout out to my man, Crush the Legend. Yeah, shout out to Professor Booger.
What's up, Crush?
Yeah. So, you know, I feel that way. I mean, I always like to recognize people who have played a great part, a major part in stuff that I'm interested in, because, hell, you got to give people respect when they do something that's like unseen or unheard of. And that's what he did.
Got to give them their flowers, man, you know?
It's just too bad that, like, along the lines, like, when people see money can be made, how many vultures go after it, and they change how things get played from that point of view.
Yeah.
Because now, you know, boxing, you make so much money off of it, people can start putting things into place where, you know, they fix it to, like, they always come out with a big into the. Well, I won't say that because we're in a pause-worthy society right now. But they come out with the advantageous hand, so to speak. They always got the ace and the joker in their hand.
I hate. When they give people, they don't give people their flowers when they live in like say for instance Joe Frazier. They was trying to get a statue for him in Philly, but they never would give it to him. They gave it to Sylvester Stallone, Rocky. But once Joe Frazier died, then they're gonna give him a statue. Give the people the flowers while they're living, man.
Well, they didn't even give it to Sylvester Stallone. They gave it to a fictional character, bro. Exactly. But that goes back to the 3/5 thing. Mm-hmm. That truly shows you that even today, we are still viewed as 3/5 of a human being.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because they could do something like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This man literally put Philly on a map. Mm-hmm. And you got a fictional character
whose record is 0-0, just like
forever. Forever, like in lore, right there, just because of the scene in the damn movie. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. I'm sorry, man.
A legendary fighter, really out there doing it. Legendary. He couldn't even get a statue, but once he died, then they're gonna make a statue out. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's like you said. It's unfortunate that you don't get your flowers when you're here. I mean, I guess acknowledgement and recognition is good. I really don't like attention like that, so I don't particularly do well with it. But then again, man, it's nice to have people recognize.
For other people. I mean, Joe Frazier probably didn't give a shit either way, but for other people to recognize him as having a statue, not just for him, for his fans.
Yeah, but see, in Joe Frazier's case, if I'm Joe Frazier, if Joe Frazier and me switch place and I still have the same viewpoint that I have about not getting recognized, I'd be pissed if a fictional character got recognized. And here it is that people recognize boxing in Philly because I put us on the map for the most part. Like, yo, how you gonna put a movie character up on there, but you won't put me on there?
Yeah.
But like I said, like Al Booger said, it's till this day, man. This stuff ain't changed. They just got subtle ways, more subtle with how they can do it.
That's right.
And it's unfortunate that he and his family had to endure. Like, he should have been embraced, man. If it would have been, like I say, this right here, I hate to scale it off of this, but this right here sums everything up.
Yeah.
A person goes into a church building where they're having a praying meeting and Bible study, and asks people to pray for him, sits behind them, and then as they're praying, shoots up the place. This man is viewed as a victim too.
Ain't that something?
Meanwhile, somebody walking down the street minding their own business that's 6'4", 300-something pounds fits the description of somebody 5'9", 175, and he doesn't have his life no more.
And to add to it, the guy in the church that killed the people, the police took him to Burger King or somewhere on the way to jail.
Because he was a victim in this whole thing too. Because something had to be wrong for him to do something like that. But when a person minding his own dang business ain't done nothing, walking home from the job and stopping at this man gets his life completely taken out because he, quote unquote, fits the description.
Ain't even got a weapon.
Ain't got nothing to do with it, man. And then Michael Vick is thrown in jail and drugged through the mud because he fights dogs. Something that was invented by people who crucified him. So, man, I mean, that just lets you know where we're at, man. Those things hadn't happened too long ago, man. They was out there lynching people, talking about people was out there committing suicide. Man, come on, man. They was hanging. No self-respecting black person gonna hang themselves, man, because of what happened to their ancestors.
Even somebody if somebody wanted to commit suicide, they ain't gonna hang the goddamn self. Shit.
Nah, they usually taking medication, using a gun. or maybe even something like that along those lines. But like as black people, man, most black people don't hang themselves because of the
Right.
things that
Anyway,
happen to them.
I was just
Yeah.
saying, hanging yourself. Who the hell gonna do that, man?
So with that being the case, man, that's why he ain't get no love, he ain't get no respect, and they ain't treat him with the regard that they should have, man. Because most people that come from an area, especially an area so rich in tradition like that, they get celebrated, man. The people make sure that they feel like they're a star everywhere they go, and that wasn't the case for him because my man had melanin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, melanin in his system, dog. So that
Actor, I
that's
got
what
to
it
see him
is.
statue. He's just an actor.
That's crazy. That's real crazy.
You know,
But I wanted to say that, man, you know, I was watching something the other day, and it was with regards to somebody asking Muhammad Ali, how would the greats of yesteryear fare against him? And, you know, Ali is a smart, intelligent person, man, and he's also honest, man. One thing I respected about Ali was his candor. And he said, bro, like, they are great fighters, especially in their time. In their time, they were great.
That's key. That's key
for what they did. He said, but you got to recognize that just because you were the best at your time, don't necessarily transcend past all times. Now, there are some people who, no matter what time you put them in, they will be the best. And he said, when you look at what, exactly. He said, what you look at what the opposition I faced and the gifts that I had to use at my command, like I'm tall, I have reach, I have speed, I have power, I can move well, and I could think. He was like, man, you know, I have a lot that will be difficult for certain people to accommodate against. And he said, I'm not saying that I'm better than them, but for their time, they were great. But imagine me in their time.
And T. Hill, he was in a period that was recognized as different than other heavyweight eras, the 70s.
Oh yeah, he went through the. I mean, when you look at it, man, the only thing that comes close to his era was the 90s, 2000s, like the 2000s, the 90s.
Right up in there.
Yeah, that era right there is the only era that can compare to what you were seeing.
Yeah,
the amount of talent from fight to fight. Like right now, it's watered down. You got a couple of people, and that's how somebody smaller than the rest of the people can dominate. When you're smaller and you're dominating, it's usually because you're special. Like Holyfield's the special dude. You know what I'm saying? He just was able to endure being smaller in a division and still being able to allow skill, but grunt to take it.
And he had that heart.
Yeah, you know,
I ain't losing.
Oh, my man,
kill me in here. He had that kind of mentality, you know.
Yeah, we got the voice in the building. He's about to cue up everything and get it going. I'm glad he gave me that reminder because it just turned 1 o'clock.
Got something good today too. Benavidez, he's gonna be talking about Benavidez and Morrell.
Shout out to BBO. If that fight takes place, BBO said it 2 weeks ago. Said it was good. So I hope that it is good, man, because you know it's something that will give fight. I honestly believe that the fight that we're in this week right now is not getting enough play that it deserves, man. This is truly a great fight.
Which one is that?
And a pretty dang good card for Turbiev and
Bivol.
Beterbiev and Bivol.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that's distracting from the fact that this fight is taking place. We got people talking about Devin Haney. We got people talking about Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Tank, and none of them is going to be in the ring. But we got the best possible fight taking the ring this week. Yeah, man. It's like that. That needs to be highlighted. So from the middle of the day on, we need to make sure we put impression. Like when we do the block party today, the block party today, that needs to be seen.
We had 2 this year, but normally undisputed is like not even once every year undisputed. 4 belt nowadays, man, the way these guys don't fight each other. So when you get undisputed, that's special, man, you know.
Yeah. And speaking of special, and this will be the last thing I say, I want to make sure I mention, shout out to what you said, man, when it was no difference. It was like a 15 to 20 pound weight difference between champions.
Yeah.
You got a person who was able to navigate 3 divisions,
Yeah.
essentially 45 pounds even greater to 60 was the difference in him doing it, man. Truly a great, great fighter who really doesn't get the respect that he deserves as well, too. And that man was dominating these divisions. It wasn't like he was struggling. But one thing he definitely did that helped him be able to do that is he fought at his natural weight.
That's right. That's right.
So it's easier to scale up than it will be to scale down.
Yes, it is. You're right.
And he didn't go in there super huge or putting on mad weight like, say, Bubo Andre.
Yeah, that's the exact name I was thinking about. Yup.
Shout out to the better half, Miss Cash. Blessings to you.
Appreciate you, T Hill,
for allowing your husband to grace us with his boxing knowledge and expertise, and all the best over to Just Do, the voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. That's where we're going.
Right there, my good brother.
Coming up. You wasn't really back there 10 minutes, was you?
I was there 15 minutes, bro. I was there for a long time. I ain't gonna lie, man, but like I say, you know, you doing what you do. I'm not mad at you sitting there listening.
You should have called me and said, Cass, I'm backstage on the phone.
Yeah, but last time I did that, the whole dang thing shut down. So I didn't want to do that again. I didn't want you to fade to black no more.
Yeah. Yo, that's right. Like last week. Okay.
So, all right then.
Appreciate you, bro.
Always, my brother. Always, my brother.
Right. Okay, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Always appreciate Thomas Hill coming up with his wealth of knowledge he has on this sports, man. And we're going to get ready to go over to Just Do. Like I said, he's going to be talking about Benavidez and Morrell. That is a hot subject. Okay. So let's get ready to jump on over there to Just Do Boxing. And I'll be back tomorrow. It's boxing in the States. Today is the 9th already. Wow. But anyway, Crush the Legend, Ray Patterson, Mike Grimm, Just Do Boxing, Ant McQueen, Big Supreme, Let's Talk Fashion, Big Dre, Al Booger, BN Boxing News, Melanin Queen 27, Thomas Hill, The Rise Podcast, Mike Mazik, Miss Cass. And appreciations again to Thomas Hill coming up, closing the show out with me. Just Do Boxing is straight ahead, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with the Boxing in the States series. Because you know, if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian bringing you all that boxing history. Everybody have a great day. Appreciate you 1,000%. I'll see y'all tomorrow.